Scrapping Under the Influence. I am here today with a brand new project using just the Doodlebug Essentials Kit for Snow Much Fun. So when I get into the tutorial, I'll go through what all comes in the kit, but you can see from the packaging here, you've got your icons, you've got an alphabet sticker, a doodle pop, ribbon, buttons, and then 6 of the papers from the Snow Much Fun collection. I love this. This has got to be one of my favorite collections they've come out with in a long time, and that's saying something because I typically love all Doodlebug, but this one, I don't know, just something about it. Anyway, so what we have here is a very, very simple folio. I used just what is in the Essentials kit. The only things I added to it were 2 sheets of gray Artisan Cardstock and a 4x12 piece of lightweight chipboard. Okay. Other than that, the entire project is just the Doodlebug papers and the pieces and parts in the ephemera kit, or I'm sorry, the Essentials kit. So you do get this super cute gingham ribbon in the Essentials kit. You get your alpha stickers, you get your icon stickers, and then the paper. So on the front here, I did my title, One Winter Day. I did that. I added some of the icon stickers just to decorate that. I've got my little fat birds because we've got to have the little fat birds. Fat birds are awesome. Open it up here. We've got 2 of the cut aparts here, and I did leave this open on the side so I could tuck a journal spot or another picture or something underneath. When you open it up this way, we've got 2 pockets here. We've got the journaling spot cut aparts here, the 3x8 here, and this flips up and you've got the other 2 below, and you've got plenty of space for pictures on both of these. We've got some more of our ribbon here. We have a couple of the buttons from the boutique buttons that are included in the Essentials kit. My initial plan had been to use these as, you know, a wrap for the ribbons, but I wasn't loving how that was looking, so I instead ended up making the top one longer so we could tie it near the bottom. You can do that however you want to. And then I've got a waterfall up here that alternates orientation as you go through it. And I did decorate with the icon stickers on the back side. So there you go there. And then down here, this one just opens up and you've got more spots for pictures, and then used that border strip to make a small belly band down here. Super, super easy. The tutorial actually is in real time. The only things that I had pre-cut on this were my waterfall pieces. Okay. Everything else I did in real time. All of the matting, all of the decorating, all of the cutting of the papers, the whole 9 yards, so that you get a real sense of how long this project will take you. And literally parts of this, I was designing this as we went. Like, I had a basic idea. I had done one somewhat similar for this for a challenge thing at a retreat I'd gone to over the summer. So I just kind of updated it and changed a few things about it. And here we go. So, as always, thank you for stopping by. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you want to be notified when I post new projects. And tutorial starts now. Okay, so with this project, we are just going to use the Doodlebug Essentials Kit for Snow Much Fun. So in the Essentials Kit, and I went through this on my haul video, but we'll go through it again anyway, just in case you didn't see that. You're going to get the boutique buttons. You're going to get some purple lilac forget-me-not gingham ribbon. You're going to get a doodle pop. And both of these items are not ones that you can just, like, buy on your own anymore. These are ones that are only used in the value bundles and the Essentials kits and that kind of thing. So they're a really, really neat little addition and a nice thing to have. And I mean, they'll match things other than just Doodlebug, of course. And I love this ribbon. I have a whole stash of the little Doodlebug ribbons on these little cards from a million years ago. And the Doodle Pop is one from, I believe, the Winter Wonderland collection, but I'm not positive. So he is a little bit older of a Doodle Pop, but that's okay. You're also going to get the icon stickers for So Much Fun, which is, of course, the new winter collection from Doodlebug. And you've got a lot of really cute images on this, and my son was just in here looking at it because he's like, oh, look how cute. And he pointed out that the snowman's building a snowman. I didn't notice that. That's adorable. You're also going to get a Just My Type alphabet sticker sheet. This is double-sided, so you have lowercase and uppercase letters, and you've got a bunch of them. And then you're going to get 6 of the papers, if I can pick them up. I haven't been using this mat because it gets like weirdly sticky. I don't know why. All right, so we've got Frozen Flurry, which has our cut-aparts, and we're going to use our cut-aparts. So I'm going to set this one aside for now. So Much Fun, which is, of course, the cute collage sheet. And this is what I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use as the base of our little folio today. We've got All Bundled Up, which has that beautiful purple plaid. And then, of course, has the border strips on the backside. And the border strips are like one of my favorite things that Doodlebug does. And then we've got this gorgeous wintry woods with the tone-on-tone snowflakes. And then, maybe this will be our base, actually. I think this is going to be our base instead of that other one because I love this one. Just that gradient on those just is amazing. And I didn't do too badly matching my nails. For once, I was actually thinking about that. But my son went with me for that yesterday, and he actually picked the color, so he did a pretty good job. We've got Snow Day, which of course is all the different snowflakes with pretty purple polka dot on the back. Purple polka dot. Try to say that 5 times fast when you're not totally awake yet. And then Cold Streak with the pretty stripes. But then we've got our little list pages on the back, which we're going to use these as well. So I'm going to set those aside along with the cut-aparts. And then, of course, that's just your packaging that gives you, your list of what all's in here. It gives you a project inspiration with a picture of Cynthia, who is the founder of Doodlebug there on the back. And yeah, so I'm going to set that piece aside. And I'm going to move all of our little decoration pieces right now. And it comes on a little strip of acetate here that we might end up using somewhere in the book. I haven't decided yet. Okay, so we've got a couple options here because this is a fairly simple project. You can do this just with the pattern paper, okay? You don't necessarily need to build a base and, wrap chipboard and all that kind of thing unless you want to. I think I'm going to start it with just the base, and then I think I might add a little bit of lightweight chipboard on the back of it, but we'll see when we get to that point. So let me move this for now. The only thing outside of the essentials kit that you're going to need for this is going to just be a couple of sheets of Artisan Cardstock. I'm using the gray Artisan, but it is entirely up to you. Okay, so I'm going to cut that little branding strip off. I'm going to grab my scoreboard. And because I want this on the outside of my folio, that's not my scoring tool, that's a knife. I'm going to leave that, I'm going to score it with that side up so we're folding to the back. You know what I mean. I promise. Okay. So we're going to score this at 4. And this is like, did I not cut this all the way off? I didn't. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, let's try that again. Okay, so we're going to score this at 4 inches. 4 1/4. 4 1/4, 8 1/2, and 9. No, not 8, 9. 8 3/4. I'm sorry. 8 3/4. So let's just ignore that little 9-inch that I did there. Okay. All right. So literally that's it. There's your base. So I'm going to flip this over. I'm going to fold and burnish. again, we're going to fold and burnish. And fold and burnish. Okay. So you have a 1/4 inch gusset on either side. Okay. This would be the point if you want to add some lightweight chipboard in here, you absolutely can, and you're going to do it in this center section. Okay. So if you want to do that and just mat it, you can. I think I'm going to go ahead and just leave this as is. Okay. So I do have my shorter flap on the top here, longer flap there, and then we've got our nice wide section in the middle for our waterfall. You know what, just because I'm sure there's going to be some of you that do want to do the lightweight chipboard in the middle, I'm going to grab a piece really quick. Well, maybe I am. Okay, so lightweight chipboard, I'm going to cut this to not quite 4.5 because our center section here should be 4.5 inches. It is not. It's 4.25. Why is it 4.25? Did I measure it wrong? Probably. What is that? No, that's right. 4.25. Oh no, it's okay. Never mind. Okay, so it's 4.25. I am going to go 4 3/16 by 11 and 15/16. So it's going to be just a 1/16 of an inch smaller than our center section here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and find my score tape, or you can glue it in. I just don't want to risk getting carried away with the glue and having that bubble. So I'm going to go ahead and just throw some score tape down on this and put it in. And I'm sure if you're like me, you've got 1,000 chipboard scraps laying around. We don't need anything like super heavy unless you want it, in which case it's up to you. Okay. Grab, because I've got a very finite space that I'm working with here, I'm going to just start those folded back to make sure I get this lined upright instead of pulling them all the way off and dropping it down and then having it be crooked and then having to swear. Make sure you add your ribbon to your top and bottom if you're going to do that before you put the chipboard down. I forgot. On camera again. Wouldn't be the first time, I'm sure you all know, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm just making sure that I am lined up where I want to be. And of course not. note, that will never happen that easily again, I promise. Oh my gosh, seriously. That was something else. Okay, so we're going to try from this end. Okay, there we go. Much better. And we're just going to very carefully all right, there we go. All right, so we've got that reinforced. Our sides will be fine. So then I'm just going to cut another piece to go over the top of that. So let's see what we got here. So of course I don't want to do anything with our 2 cut apart sheets. You don't really need to mat, like traditionally mat the front. I think I'm going to go with that one right there. So I'm going to cut that to about the same size. So 4 3/16 by 11 and 15/16. So that should sit right over the top of that, like so, and it's not going to impede our closing or anything else. And I actually really like how that's coming out. So let's grab our glue. Don't know where my other glue is, so we're going to go with this one, and hopefully we're not clogged, because, you know, I'm sure we will be, because that's just how this goes. So, all right. Yeah, I definitely want the snowflakes facing up. Okay. And this should fit exactly on top. And because we used lightweight chipboard, we don't need to worry about the edge, because really you're not going to see it. Not enough that it's going to matter. What did I do with that other? Oh, it's clear back there. Why is it over there? I don't know. All right. So there's our base. So next up, let's go ahead and cut out our cut aparts. And I'm going to switch to a different trimmer for that, just so that I can get them lined up right. Okay. I don't know who has gotten this trimmer and tried it. I like parts of it. Like, I like the fact that I can just slide things over. I don't have to, like, raise and lower that arm. But anytime it comes to, like, weird measurements, like the 1/8, it's really hard to use. But I am adapting. It's okay. Alright, so then we're going to do a waterfall in the middle of this, and we're going to do this a little bit differently than I think I've typically done them. So, because not all of our cut aparts are oriented the same way. Some are portrait, some are landscape, okay? So we just need to decide which ones we're going to use. So let's use 1, 2, 3, 4. And then my other 4, we're going to use, I think, those. Yes, I think that's exactly what we're going to do. So, with that in mind, because then we will be able to use the back side of a section of this if we decide we want to. Okay, so I'll use those 3. Use those. Okay. And then I am going to set this whole section aside. We'll probably use the back side of that for some photo mats. Okay, so then I'll go ahead and cut these up. So there's 1, 2, 3. And then we'll pick out so these, the bigger ones, we are going to go on their own flaps. So we'll set those aside. So we just need to figure out which of the small ones we want to use. These are all really good ones on this page this time too. So I think we're going to go with him. Those all aside. Okay. So, typical waterfall, you need 4 pieces that are 4 5/8 by 3 1/8. So those are for these. And you need 4 pieces that are 4 1/8 by 3 5/8 for the others. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and score these for, so 3 5/8 on the top, scored at 1/2 inch. Okay. And then with these, we're going to score it with the 4 5/8 at the top. And again, just at 1/2 inch. Okay. Go ahead and set those aside. And we're actually going to go ahead and mat these prior to putting them in. So I'm going to go ahead and just put these down. right. So really at this point, other than me pre-cutting my waterfall pieces, we are doing this in real time. And of course, you guys can do this with any paper collection. You could do this without the essentials kit, with just, you know, the ones you have on hand. There are lots and lots of options. Okay, all right, so there's that much. I'm going to grab our base. We're just going to kind of lay these out and figure out what we want to start with. So I think we're going to go like that. Okay, so I think that's the order I want them in. So I'm going to turn this upside down. Okay, I'm going to turn this upside down like that, so then I can fold and burnish and start putting our waterfall in. Okay, so I am just going to center that up right at the very top, flip it back just like you normally would. And now, because this alternates orientation back and forth, I don't know, I was trying to remember if I've actually done one like this in a tutorial or not. I don't think that I have. You're just going to have to kind of eyeball it for those first two pieces as far as how they line up. Okay? Once you get those first two down, the rest of it should be easier to line up. Okay. So then just to make sure he's centered, I'm just going to fold that back and make sure. And we'll do the same thing with the next one. Move. Okay. Again. I really like this gray Artisan with this collection. It's really cute. Okay. We're on our last two. Okay, and on this one, we're actually going to, I'm going to go ahead and fold and burnish. However, and I know you've seen me do this before, rather than put it down like that, we're going to put it down like this, just to finish that off so that when you flip this up, you don't have that little tab sitting there. And if you wanted to add a couple more of the cut aparts to this, or for that matter, even just, what's the word I'm looking for here? You know, flip them over and use the back side as mats, you absolutely could do that and make this a little bit longer if you wanted to. It is entirely up to you. Okay. So there is our cute back and forth waterfall. Okay. So once it's down, I'm just going to come in here and burnish these pieces down so that they lay nice and flat. Okay, and that does seem like a lot of space down here. So what I'm going to do is take these two. I'm going to cut two more little waterfall pieces. And I'm going to cut those to 4 1/8. No, that's wrong. 3 1/8. No, I was right the first time. I'm telling you, I know what I'm doing. Okay, 4 1/8. By 3 5/8. Okay, 4 1/8 by 3 5/8. I'm going to score both of these. Swear I need a different mat, which sucks because I love this one because there's no grid lines. Okay, 1/2 inch. I'm trying to do this with the scoreboard turned the normal way. I don't like it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and glue these on. However, I'm going to put these so that they go opposite each other. Okay, so you want score line on your right side, score line on your left side when you glue these on. Burnish. And I'm not going to go quite to the edge. I'm going to leave about maybe a 1/16 of an inch here, 1/8 of an inch at the bottom. Do the same on the other side. My husband's outside taking down Christmas lights. Okay, I'm just going to line that up on top of the other one so that they're lined up. Okay, all right. And then on this inside where we've got that little tab, what I'm going to do is take a piece from this. Those purple polka dots. And I'm going to cut this one to 4 1/8 high. Okay, so it covers up those tabs completely. And then I'm going to measure in here how far apart these ended up being. And they ended up being 4 inches apart, which is perfect. Okay. So then that will go down right there. Okay, just like so. And there you go, your center section's done. All right, so said we were going to do some little flips with these. So I have got 2 pieces that are 3 1/8 by 8 5/8. We're going to score these at 1/2 inch with the 8 5/8 at the top. Okay. We are going to miter these. So I figure out where my scissors went. Okay. So now you just need to decide which one you would like to have on top. So I'm going to bring this in again. And I'm going to put these up more towards the top. And on this side, it's going to be a tighter fit because of this side being the smaller ones, which is fine. This one you have a little bit more wiggle room, but what we will probably do is still put this out to the edge, and then we're going to find one of those border strips that are so cute, and we're going to run it right down that inside. So I just need to decide, oh, I think most definitely like that where we've got those snowflakes. So let's go ahead and glue those down. Okay, there's one, there's the other. Okay, then we will go ahead and fold and burnish. I'm going to turn this upside down so I can look at it from that angle to make sure I get this lined up exactly where I want it. I am going to go right at the top on this. You can leave a little bit of gap at the top if you want to. It's up to you. And then over here as well. Okay. Now we're going to flip those up and out of the way. And then these are both going to go down right underneath that, right up against that fold line. That's going to hide your tab, and I'm going to reinforce these side pieces a little bit more. Which, that one, I don't know that I'm loving the green on here, so I might actually, honestly, you could do that with both of them. It'd be kind of cute. No, I want the lists. I love these little list pages. They're cute. I didn't like them at first, But as I've figured out different ways to use them, they've kind of grown on me. Okay, so there's that one. Okay, so there's that. Okay, give me just a minute. I'll be right back and we will finish this off. Okay, so I realized that I missed a crucial step. So I will actually put something in earlier in the video as well as showing you how I'm going to fix it right now. I meant to put ribbon underneath here and underneath here. However, because the only saving grace with this, because I used score tape, I'm going to be able to take some undo right here and very carefully pop this edge up enough to get the ribbon underneath here and centered up. Okay. Alright, so then that will need to just sit for a second and wait for that to like dry off or evaporate or whatever it is the undo does once you're finished with it. And then I want to do the same thing at the top. But what we're going to do, so let me get my glue gun ready. What we're going to do is we're going to use some of the boutique buttons for something to kind of wrap the ribbon around to tie this off because we've got this little gap here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a cute, and these are like actually stitched on here, which is so cute. I'm going to find, because I'm going to put 3 of them here. 2 of them are going to be to wrap ribbon around. 1 of them is just going to be there like decorative. So I think I want these 2 to actually wrap the ribbon around. Let's get that one off, and the other one's down here. There we go. Okay. And then I want a tiny one, just as a little, I think I'm going to use that little square one, because I think that'll just be a nice contrast to the rest of them. So those we're going to hot glue down right here. The tiny one, of course, we're going to do just flat. Add some hot glue. And I am going to put him at an angle, just like that. And then our other 2 we'll do a little pile, let it set for a second, and then put those down so that they're popped up enough to be able to wrap the ribbon around. Okay, so we need to go about, we're going to go about like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just do a little pile of hot glue there. Let me see if I can zoom in so you guys can see that a little bit better. No, not really. So there's like a little, there we go. Okay. So I'm letting that just sit for a second before I carefully drop that down. And I'm going to kind of hold it for a second because I don't want the weight of the button smashing it down entirely. I want it to cool and set and stand up. Okay. And just make sure it's not keeping anything from opening. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So again, I'm just making a pile of hot glue. Turn that off. I'm just going to let it sit for just a second. So again, you can see the pile there. And it does form just a nice little, other than I went too far to one side, but that's okay. And again, hold it up, make sure it's not in the way. Tiny bit in the way of that bottom one, but it'll be okay. Okay, and let those sit. And since this will have cured now, I can come back up on this opposite end. Oops. Open this back up, and I'll zoom back out. And we will get our undo up underneath this section so that I can stick that ribbon in there as well, because I totally don't believe I forgot to do that. Straight. But at least with this one I did use tape, so there is that. That was the one saving grace to this whole thing. When I remembered that, literally upstairs getting some Advil for a sinus headache that has appeared today, because it's the weekend, so of course this is what's going to happen. And get some more caffeine. Okay. So those should be nice and set. We can just come in here and go around like so. Yeah, not the best. If nothing else, they can just be decorative for that matter, because really, I could do it where we could tie them, couldn't I? I think I'm going to. Still like the buttons there. The buttons are cute. We needed to use buttons somewhere, and that works. So we're going to do this. We're going to tie down here at the bottom. Just like so. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to find our border for this. So let's get our border sheet. And we've got about 5/8 of an inch or so to work with. So what I'm going to do, of course that one would be perfect, but we don't need more of those little snowflakes right now. We could do the Baby It's Cold Outside, but I think that will get lost on there. I don't necessarily want a sideways Yeti. But this one, this little So Much Fun, I think is going to be about perfect. So let's grab this. Now, before we put this down, we are going to need to trim just a tiny bit off the end, which is fine. But I want to put 2 little pockets in here. So I'm going to look at my scraps, and I think that one's about the right height. So this one is 3 1/8, and we're going to cut that to 4 inches. And we're going to score it on 2 sides. So 4 inch at the top of the scoreboard. I didn't come back out enough, did I? No, I did not. There we go. Okay, 4 inch at the top of the scoreboard, 1/2 inch. Turn to the opposite side, 1/2 inch. We're not going to do a score at the bottom because it really isn't going to need it. Well, you know what? No, let's go ahead and do one. Okay, so then 1/2 inch again. And then normal pocket, we're going to miter, and miter, miter, and miter. And then fold and burnish. Go ahead and glue that one down. Okay. All right. And then we will find another piece over here. It's not going to be big enough. What's this one? Aha, this is another good one. Okay. So this one we're going to do 3 1/8 by 4 5/8. See what I'm talking about with the 1/8 inch on this? That is literally my only complaint with it. That and I hate the grid lines, but I've always hated grid lines and that kind of thing. Okay, so 1/2 inch on 3 sides. 2 short sides, 1 long side. It's 11:30. I'm going to have to go find my husband food before too much longer here. He's outside taking down Christmas decorations, and it's cold, and it snowed yesterday finally, so we have about 6 inches of snow in our front yard. It won't melt until May sometimes because our front yard gets 0 sun. Backyard will be gone by Monday. Okay. Bring that back in. Okay. And there we go. So, now as far as matting that goes, I don't know. I kind of want to use that. So let's do that. Let's see here. This is 2 5/8. And I know they're both 2 5/8 because they started out as the same height. Okay, so 2 5/8. And that one's going to be 3 3/4. Wait a minute, did I just cut that to the full height? I did. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, that should have been 2 1/2. I apologize. I got all ahead on projects for everything else, and because it's been a couple weeks, like my brain's not functioning. Okay, so 4 3/4, and there we go there, and the other one is 3, right? So 2 7/8. Go there. And then you can make some tags with your scraps of cardstock. However you want to do that. Okay. Now we can go ahead and get this lined up about where we want it. And I'm actually going to just cut that with my scissors right on the other side of that little heart, so that I've still got one little piece like this that I could use. So I could put that right here if I wanted to, just to tie it together. And that will go right down the side there. Okay. Okay. So other than doing some little decorating with the icons, I believe the inside of this is done. We've got our cute little buttons there. We could add 2 more small buttons on the other side just to kind of finish that off on the side there. I'll go through with my icon stickers, which, you know what, let's just go ahead and do it. Okay. So we're going to take, I don't want these just yet, so I'm going to remove those. I'm going to take my icon stickers, I'm going to flip my waterfall over, and I'm going to use them on the back of my waterfall. Let's do that one there. And depending on what you're doing picture-wise or whatever, you might not want to do this. Honestly, I probably shouldn't be, because I think I actually have pictures for this one. Many, many years ago when my son was, oh, what was he, 2? I think he was 2. Not too far past his 2nd birthday. We had gone to my parents for Christmas, and it was snowing like crazy. And I was like, oh, he's going to love this. So I brought like snow boots and snow pants and everything with him. And keep in mind, at the time, well, no, I guess we lived in Virginia there. I was going to say we lived in Georgia. We did not. We lived in Virginia. You know, so I mean, it had gotten snowy there, but he really hadn't been out in it necessarily. So we were at my mom's house day after Christmas. It's snowing. His cousins are outside playing in the snow, including his cousin who was only 6 months older than him, like having a good time. And tried to get him to go, and it was literally, there's pictures. My mother, or no, my husband, I think, took pictures of me fighting with this child to get him to go out in the snow. So I had fought with him to get his snow pants on, to get a hat on, to get gloves on. He refused to wear the gloves, like flat out screaming tantrum, refused to wear the gloves. And got him out there. He stood there, and there's a great picture of him standing on the porch in front of my mom's, or on the sidewalk in front of my mom's house, madder than all get out that he is outside in the snow. Which, that in and of itself was hilarious. Okay, I don't want to use that one yet. I'm going to put one of the little border strips in here. I just have to decide which one I want to do. I think I want the houses. And he was madder than all get out. And so then I'm, you know, out there trying to get him to get in the snow and make him, you know, I show him if he steps in it, it makes a little boot print. He's not impressed. I show him if he touches it, what it feels like, you know, whatever. He's still just annoyed. Tried to get him to do a snow angel, so I have an amazing picture of him laying on his back, screaming at the top of his lungs in the snow in the middle of my parents' front yard. And then after I gave up and took him back in the house. So if I get, you know, motivated, I might actually put those pictures in here. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down here as a belly band. I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue out on the very, very edge, because that will be very, very cute, just like that. I'm going to bring some more of that blue in, because the blue in this I absolutely love. I'm going to leave those as is. Okay. So we will tie down here at the bottom again. Except, you know, if you're me and you're bow challenged, in which case you don't really want to tie anything on camera because it never goes well. See? I tie my shoes just fine because they don't have to look all cute. Good enough. Okay. So here and here, you can mat the back of these, which I probably will end up doing. I'm just not sure which paper I want to use. Probably that one, actually. So let's go ahead and do that. Ooh, it's very close. I'm going to do it just short of what it really should be, but that's okay. 3 and 3. We'll go ahead and mat those, which really we could do them like that. Nope, I think I want the snowflakes on this side. The other side, I think is fine. Okay. Now, do you understand why I don't mat things on camera? This is why it takes me forever. I think I'm going to do that there. Honestly, I'm kind of wishing I inked my paper on this because it would have been really pretty with like a light purple on the edges of this. So maybe the next project I do with this, I might go ahead and ink it. We'll see. Okay, so your inside section here, other than if you want to make some little tags, is pretty much done. Okay, so we're going to work right here, but before we do that, we're going to do our last set of ribbon, which is going to go around to tie the whole thing closed. So I'm going to line this up like so. There's like a weird little imperfection on the very end of this one section here, so I'm going to try to avoid that. Okay, I'm going to take score tape and center that up. And then I'm going to take my ribbon, I'm going to fold it in half so I get it good and centered. And there we go. And that is all set. Okay, so that much is done. Let's look at this page. So what have we got left here? Let's look at pieces and parts that we still have left. So we've got that pretty purple that we could use as a mat there if we wanted to. We have got borders, which I'm going to use some of those on the front. We've got that cute page and this cute with the polka dots. And then we've got the rest of our cut aparts that we haven't used yet. Okay, my husband's out there like crunching away. All right. So I think I'm going to use these two cut aparts. Okay. I am going to mat them. So is this one my right width? It is. Like I said, at this point I am literally just using scraps. So we are like, that's not good. 2 sheets of gray Artisan Cardstock, half a sheet, not even half a sheet, a third of a sheet of lightweight chipboard. And that's all so far. Okay, so let's go. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and glue these down on their mats. And then when we glue them down on here, we're only going to glue on 3 sides so that you could tuck something in there. The other thing you could do is you could have made little flips with these, little flaps, and done it that way as well. Okay, so when this is closed, you will see the edges of these, which is fine. But I'm going to go ahead and just do a very thin line of glue on the very edge. So we're going to do this. On this one down here, before I do that, I'm going to take this little guy, no, I'm not. Don't like that. I'm going to put him, however, down here, like so. Aha, there we go. So he's peeking out of that pocket. And again, we're just going to glue on the very, very outer edge. Did I do it on the wrong edge? No, I just didn't get that stuck down all the way. There we go. All right, so that edge is done. Now, our cover. So this is where, before I do that, I'm actually going to take this and cut that to cover that back piece. Just to make sure that my ribbon's not going to come off at some point. Okay. All right. So our front cover. So now this is where I want to try and do something a little bit differently. But I need to think how I want to do this. Okay, first up, I want this little border with the animals. Okay. And we are going to cut here. There's my ruler. I was like, I swear to God, I had a ruler here. So that is 3 1/4. So we're going to cut that to 3 1/4. Just a hair under 3 1/4, just so I'm not cutting off the bunny's tail. And we're going to put this down on this bottom. I'm going a little over 1/8 of an inch up from the bottom here. Okay. And then we're going to put the other half, or the other section, over here. So this one should be 4 inches. In fact, I know that side's 4 inches. So I'm going to go just a hair under 4. And truly that needed to, oh no, that's not 4 inches. Just kidding. Yes it is. What did I just do? 4 1/4. That's why. Oh my gosh, I'm telling you, some days I should not be allowed near a paper trimmer. Okay, so truly that needed to go up underneath that little pocket. So what I'm going to do is take a bone folder. I'm going to very carefully lift that up, just enough to slide this up and under, and then I'll glue it back in. There we go. So that should be enough. Yep. Okay. Okay. There we go. And I can just re-glue my little piece there. Okay. So we've got those cute little animals. What I need now, and I'm not liking that on there, so I think we're going to do it with this. Or actually that's better, I think. Okay. So what I want is a piece that is, we're going to say 2 3/4 by 10. Okay. going to put that we're going to go 2 7/8 by 10 1/8. Okay. Okay, so we're double matting this like this. Okay. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is we're going to come up with a title that we're going to use our Just My Type on. So, this is how huge, excuse me, the Just My Type sticker sheet is. I don't know that they make this one anymore, like for individual purchase, but it does find its way into a lot of the value bundles. So, this is where you're going to have to decide what you're going to want for your title. I think I want I don't know what I want. I need to think about this for a second. Okay, so I am going to put on mine One Winter Day. So, let me grab my icons because I do kind of want to scene build a little bit. So, I'm going to put a tree down here. And I have to use my little tree with the fat bird because it's required. That's all I'm going to say. Fat birds are required. And then let's use the little polar bear. Okay. And then I'm going to do one up here. And actually, where are my tweezers? That's a very good question. And I'm not, yes they are. Amazingly, they're where they're supposed to be. Just because I know I've got glue on my fingers and I don't want to have it end up like sticking out of the edge of the adhesive on these. Okay, so there we go. One. Then I'm going to do winter going this way. But I am going to take a fat little blue bird. He's going to sit up there. And then we're going to use some of these little snowflakes. I'm going to turn this. And we're going to build winter backwards to make sure I get it spaced the way I want it. So, where's my R's? Okay, so that. Which actually probably needs to come down just a touch. There we go. Okay. Except I can't spell backwards today, apparently. And I literally, anytime I do this kind of thing, I always do them backwards. You'd think I'd remember how to spell something for once. But that's okay. Because these are very easy to move if you need to. Okay. And I think I'm going to use a snowflake for my dot on my eye, so I'm not going to put that on there right now. Okay. All right. This one I'm actually going to start the other direction. B-A. And my Y. Okay. There we go. And then I'm going to take that, and I'm going to put some of my little snowflakes coming down. Do I have a second cloud? I do have a second cloud. Come on. Let's see, there, I just pulled glue off my finger. This is why I've been using the tweezers. Let's see. Is there a teensy snowflake? There is not. Okay. And let's see here. That's a good one. There. Okay. Do we need another fat bird? I think we need another fat bird. Where do we want another fat bird? I know where we want another fat bird. Right there. There we go. Okay, so then this we're going to go ahead and glue down. And we are done. Other than a couple of pieces of cardstock and a little tiny piece of lightweight chipboard, everything in this project came out of that essentials kit, which was the plan. So a very simple, very easy project that only uses a little bit of paper. So as always, thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys stopping by. If you end up making this, please share it on Scrapbookers of Country Craft Creations. You can also share it and tag me on Facebook at Scrapping Under the Influence. I'm also on Instagram, and you can always share and tag me there as well at Scrapping Under the Influence. And please like, subscribe, and ring the bell if you want to be notified when I post new projects. And as always, thank you for watching. I'll see you guys later. Bye.